Hello? Wow. I love microphones. Thank you everyone for making the time. We're here for two main purposes today: to train our two newest drivers and for Eric to feed us all lunch. Obviously not the meeting we choose to be having or would like to be having, but current times necessitate certain things. There's a lot of tentacles to what's currently going on in our community here, and most of them our intent is to not get into today. But organizationally, it's incumbent upon us to do everything we can to ensure the safety of you guys as our drivers and the clients we transport. So over the last 5 days, we doing a lot of work to reach out to as many people as we can and do as much research as we can to put together protocols, primarily for you guys when you're out in the community in your buses. If for some reason or somehow we were to come into any interactions with immigration officials and ICE. So that's what we're here to go over today, what we're going to do. On Friday I met with the White Bear Police Chief, the local police chief, to run these protocols by him and get any additional feedback that he may have, which we've incorporated into here. And regardless of what anyone feels about what's going on, his biggest message to us was, if you end up being in a situation like that, stay calm and comply to the best of your abilities. If you're in an adverse situation and you feel it is totally unfair and not correct or right, your time to express that is later and not in the moment when tensions are high and there might be, the temperature is high. So we don't want to be, that's not the time for us to express any feelings that we have or displeasure of what's going on. So we'll go through this. Like we say here, there's a lot of feelings and we are not here. All those feelings are valid, regardless of what they are, regardless of the individual. Your feelings are valid, okay? And we understand the tension and sensitivity that are here with those feelings. Another thing that I think is really important that we talk about today before we get into the actual details of this, our own regular NewTracks protocols, it's even more important that we follow those right now when we come to homes. There may be group home staff for one reason or another that may not be at the regularly scheduled house. And we need to make sure that if we require waive-offs, that we get those waive-offs, that we're dropping people off into homes that are staffed. If group home staff may have their own individual concerns about coming to work, they may not be showing up, so it's important that we really ensure that those waive-offs are happening, that we check and double check to make sure when necessary that homes are staffed when we're dropping our clients off. Because the last thing we want to do is drop someone off into a home that's not staffed properly. So if for some reason your bus did come in contact with an immigration official, and we're working on some note cards to put into everyone's cars that kind of just a description of who we are as an organization. And we'll say something very similar. This vehicle is owned and operated by NewTracks. We're a nonprofit organization that provides transportation for adults with disabilities to and from their homes, day sites, and work programs, seniors, and other vulnerable adults. These individuals generally do not carry identification with them and may not be able to communicate on their own. it's important that we get that message. We get that message out to any officials, because the last thing we want is for an immigration official to feel like one of our riders, one of our clients, in the way that they communicate is being disparaging to them at all. And so it's important that we communicate to them that the clients that we have on our bus may not be able to communicate, and that should not be taken as anything other than their disability. And then if they feel like they need to talk to someone, we'll have my number on here, or New Tracks Management to direct them to. The first thing you do if anything happens is you call dispatch, and you let them know that something is going on in your exact location, and we will try to get some management to that location as soon as we possibly can. So the steps: you pull over safely, you find a safe spot to stop. The police chief, this is number 2, was something that we just added on Friday. He said, regardless, any law enforcement, if you're driving a vehicle, absolutely can request driver's license and insurance. So you provide that without question, right? You're driving a vehicle, it's totally within their rights to request driver's license and insurance. Leave the bus on. That keeps the cameras in the bus continue to filming, right? And I would advise anyone on the bus, just so you know, we have cameras with sound on the bus that will be filming what's going on. Do it as respectfully as you can, but it's important for them to understand and realize that this is being filmed.
What if they request you to shut it down?
Okay. There's two answers to that. If they ask you to shut it down, if they're asking a question, you can ask that, are you asking or are you requesting? If you're asking, say, our management has instructed us not to unless we request to. If they are requesting you do something, you do it. Okay? Does that make sense to you? This was something I learned. I did not realize the difference. And ask, no matter how they are stating, how directly they are stating it. If it is a question, you're able to answer the question. If it is a request, comply.
So Mike, in that situation, could you turn accessories on so it was still filming?
I believe so, yeah. Yes.
Yes, at least try that. Yes, hopefully that will. Yeah.
Okay.
Mike, I got something. Could they say, like, for the safety of me and the clients and you guys, we keep it on?
As respectfully as possible, yes. For the safety of everyone involved, our preference is to keep this on for the cameras. Do everything you can to stay calm. And the other thing, the police chief, he said, keep your hands visible and do not make sudden movements. Again, this is all to try to keep everyone here and our clients safe. So keep the hands visible and don't make sudden movements. Be polite and comply as much as possible. Do not share information about a client or employee beyond indicating the services that New Tracks provides. So if they want more information, again, the answer becomes management at New Tracks has asked that you wait until management comes out to answer any additional questions. If they become insistent and the temperature gets higher, do what you can, do what you need to do to keep it as calm as possible. If you need, like, comments here, be polite but firm. I do not consent to a search. Right? If they're asking, they don't have a warrant, I do not consent to a search. Hopefully they adhere to that. Don't sign anything. If officials are insisting on entering the bus or taking a rider into custody, drivers should not interfere with officials' actions after the previous steps have been followed. I know we love the people we serve. And I know how heartbreaking any of that would be. But we gotta do everything we can to protect everyone in these situations.
If we are requested to turn off the bus, don't the iPads, I mean, is there something we can do? I know you can take pictures and is there filming on that?
Yeah, absolutely. The question was if we have to turn off our buses and the cameras, see it's working. The first thing is turn the accessories on. Douglas, can those iPads, do they?
Yes, they will record if you use a video function, but I wouldn't bother. Just leave the bus and accessory and use the iPad to communicate with dispatch.
I have Kalina on my bus, and she would go berserk if this happened. What would I do to help her?
What would you do to help her? That's the first thing we say when someone comes up is explaining the services we provide, and that the people we provide services to can be very unpredictable. And we hope they'll adhere to that, you know? The next thing that right behind the steps is that I've been instructed to give you this notification of who we are and who to contact if you have questions. To show our compliance with the law, this bus is equipped with cameras, as we talked about, and sound is recording. If officials are insistent on coming to the bus, I have vulnerable adults on this bus. Please understand that they can have unpredictable responses to new people and situations. We try to warn them about who we are and what we do and the folks we serve as much as we can, and try to do it in as calm and respectful a manner as we can. The police chief also said, you know, if this was more in line to, you know, if you're off the bus or in different situations with Merrick staff and things like that, that is totally within our rights to film situations. But again, to do that as respectfully as possible, notify. To protect us all, I'm going to be recording this, right? And to keep a safe distance, that one of the things that becomes really, really challenging is if you get too close to someone in a situation, and that just, again, elevates the temperature. So I'm going to be recording this, you know, give some good distance. I'd say, you know, like where I am from Eric, that type of thing, just so there's, I always try to keep that amount of distance from Eric, just for my own personal. Right, we all do cams, I always do that. So those are the instructions. It's, you know, the key is trying to stay calm as we possibly can, and trying to be as informative to any situation. Our hope is that none of us end up in this situation. But it's our responsibility to be as proactive as we can and make sure we are all as prepared as we possibly can be if something does happen to come up. It's just the reality of where we are today, and it's our responsibility. So rights during the stop, your rights are to remain silent. One can decline a search of a car, person, or belongings. However, if pressed, comply. If you choose to record the interaction like we just talked about, we recommend you respectfully inform them that you are doing so and provide sufficient space. This is where we're at right now as of, what are we, January 11th, 12th? We know guidance, best practices may continue to change as we learn more and understand more, and we'll do everything we can to inform you of any changes or any best practices that change as they come up. We just can't wait any longer, because if we do get put in a situation, we want to be as prepared as we possibly can be. So, we have a couple minutes. Happy to take any questions. I don't know how much more we can really answer, but I'm going to continue to say our top priority organizationally is to keep the people in this room safe and our riders safe. That's got to be top of mind in any situation we're in. And, I'm going to reiterate the thought that, it's important that we take that extra step at homes to ensure these homes are staffed. It's information gets to people in different ways. And I'm just going to speak about myself personally. I'm concerned that there's a potential of group home staff that will be scared to come into work. And that's why it's so important that we make sure that there's someone there when we're dropping them off.
Are all of the sites kind of doing preparations like this as well?
I know Merrick is.
Okay.
I forwarded what Merrick is doing over to PEI this morning. On Friday, I forwarded our protocols to Merrick, PEI, MSS, and Northeast to ensure that they understand what we are doing organizationally. And every one of them responded that they were supportive of what we had in place. Just another thought, building wise, we are looking into the possibility of putting some type of coded or keeping the doors locked and requiring some type of different access into our buildings. With everything going on right now, I'm not sure how quickly that can or will happen, but it is something we are looking at. So, just, again, a question more from a merit perspective than the new tracks. Yes, what constitutes something being open to the public or public access to the building? The hope was we could just put some signs up that say this building is a private building, this is not public. Answer was a great rule of thumb. It was, if there is access to a UPS or a FedEx delivery, then there's access to someone with a badge. So, to really restrict access, there needs to be either some type of reception area at the door, or the door's locked. So, we are looking into that and understanding what that will take, and that's where we're at right now. Yeah, Ken.
Yeah, how soon would the statement cards be made for the buses? When can we expect that? Because otherwise I'm carrying this around.
Yeah, absolutely. Carry that,
You know what I mean?
100% carry this in your bus, regardless. I recommend everyone will have copies up on dispatch. We're hoping to get those like smaller this week sometime. But yes, please carry these with you.
Feel free to take an extra copy too if you would like. So.
We can get that straightened in the books.
Are you doing this on hearing that ICE is gonna come to these facilities, or are you just doing this as a precautionary?
We are doing this to be proactive and make sure that we put our people in the best possible place. I don't want to wait until something happens or until we hear that something's happened at group homes or anywhere else. Then it's too late. Right? We want to make sure that we have protocols in place prior to anything happening. But good question. I'm sorry. The question was, are we doing this out of a reaction because we've heard or we have some knowledge that is something that's going on? Thomas, I hear things all the time.
I'm just curious. I mean, because if I start rolling into Merrick and they're all there, I'm gonna go the other way. I'm not gonna even go in there. I'm not even just gonna be.
Yep, you notify dispatch, you let them know exactly what's going on, and, yep, you get yourself to a safe place. Yeah, Mark?
So if we do outings in Minneapolis and we pick up people in Minneapolis, how about the protesters? You don't know where they're, like, this weekend, all of a sudden they formed, 6 blocks away from me. What, do I let people off there? I mean,
So Mark's question was, I actually remember to repeat the question this time. When we're doing outings in Minneapolis, and it doesn't need to be in Minneapolis, I mean, there's protests in St. Cloud and Duluth and all over. If we're doing outings or routes and there's a protest and you see something, I would turn around, get to an area away from the protest, get to a safe place, call dispatch, and ask what steps we need to take. If it's a community outing, we'll get Scott or Trevor on it to try to touch base with whatever that outing is to try to get the best answers in. We want to keep ourselves out of as many potentially challenging situations as we can. And management and dispatch will support you in that as much as we possibly can. Good question, thank you.
Mike, that's not a reassuring answer, as much as we possibly can. What does that mean? You'll either support it or you won't.
So, what does that mean?
That's
Valid.
really.
So the question was, I was very wish-washy.
Yes.
And support you as much as we can. To the best of our knowledge and ability at the time of a situation, Mike, we're gonna give you our best knowledge of how to handle that particular situation. Everything right now are unknowns. So if I'm gonna say we're gonna support you, there's so many unknowns.
I didn't say go to battle for me,
Yes.
know?
No, but like I said,
Stand behind me.
well, I mean, like I mentioned earlier, if we're in a situation, I will, Patty, Mike, Douglas, Scott, we're gonna get someone, Rini, out to you as quickly as we possibly can. That's our first step. And in a situation like Mark talked about, is you remove yourself from the immediate situation, you contact dispatch, dispatch will grab who's ever most available and stay in a safe place, and then if it's an outing, Scott or Trevor will contact and see if there's a better way to get there, if we can continue it on, and if not, then we'll bring people back home.
Are you bailing anybody out of jail? I mean,
Yeah.
probably hours, you never know what happened, they might just take you, and coming to get us?
A question like that is like, I understand, but from the driver's point of view, for me,
Mhm.
I would not even get anywhere near. I see cops lights, I'm just like, I'm out of here. I won't even get involved.
And we will support you in that, Thomas. Bailing out of jail.
I mean, people like to talk back.
This- honestly, the situation that we're talking about,
That'd be only.
when people are detained, it's not going to the local jail, the county jail. It's going to an immigration facility. So that's not the real situation.
I'm just curious, and I know that there is the support there, but, and it'd be great to have somebody come to you like you guys, but are you trained on this? I mean, you're another person, obviously higher up
Absolutely.
than we are, but I'm just.
Nope, and this is what I've been saying is, if it's me, all that really gives me more credibility is my title,
Okay.
right?
So you're another person.
I'm the
higher up.
executive director of New Tracks. I am here to protect my driver and the riders on this bus, and all communication needs to come through me.
You take the heat off us.
So, yeah,
Oh,
I
you're
mean, it's, none of us know what to do, but that's what it becomes, is the communication comes through me. Another question, do you contact local police? You've heard a lot of that to be the buffer. That's what they said. There's not really anything that they have jurisdiction to do, but they said absolutely contact us. We will do the best we can to protect everyone involved in the situation. And I guess that's all I'd be able to do in that situation too. I mean, Mike, did I answer your question? I don't,
Yeah.
I wish there was more perfect answers to this. All right. Looks like we're done. Thank you, everyone.